Well, guys, certainly yesterday didn't go to plan. Who would have seen such a poor defensive display from Wrexham? I mean, we have shown before that we have had defensive slip-ups, but it all seemed to come together as one yesterday. Bit of a shame, really, on our return to the Football League, and probably was the reality check that we needed. And even myself, I did think we would win yesterday. I think we'd win majority of the games, but it just shows that we can't really rest on our laurels, and it's quite easy for people to say, like myself, to say, well, yes, Wrexham should win. We've got the biggest budget, we've got plenty of spending power, but a bit overconfidence really in that situation. Even looking at the starting lineup, I thought there was a little bit of concern seeing O'Connor in defence rather than in his holding position in midfield. It doesn't seem to be the most out of him. It was a bit concerned not seeing Boyle not start because he's that left-sided centre-back and probably would have been very useful yesterday, and not sure why he wasn't playing. Nothing was said, but there was rumours that some sort of injury, so hopefully he's not too bad and he's back for, if not Wigan, for Wimbledon. And then Hayden, why was Hayden not playing? I mean, I initially thought perhaps I'd have favoured O'Connell over Hayden starting, but O'Connell just seemed to have a little bit of a shocker, at least in the first half. I don't think got much better in the second half, really. And his head seemed to have gone, I think a few of the players' heads seemed to have gone, really. I would have had Hayden on at half-time, really, just to freshen up the defence a little bit, that maybe we showed a bit more pace at that back three, because Dozer and O'Connell don't seem to have a lot of pace, and O'Connell's probably slightly faster, but again, it's not the best position for him in defence, and the midfield didn't play well. Cannon, Jones, Lee, I don't think any of them had a particularly good game, and Lee was probably lucky to still be on the pitch at half-time, because that tackle about halfway through the first half where we got a booking, could quite easily have seen that given as a red, which would have made the situation even worse. I mean, I was a little bit surprised he didn't get taken off at half-time for Davis, just to stop him getting himself sent off, and he did throw away the ball in frustration right on half-time, which was a little bit lucky. He didn't get a second yellow, because it looked like the MK Dons players were wanting this to happen, but the referee didn't allow that, really. I'm not too sure about fans going so early. You've got to be there to support the team. I know some people say, I've paid the money, but I do think you need to show a bit of support considering how much the team has done for the club over the last year, and we had such a fantastic campaign last season. I mean, it's a bit of a poor show if you're leaving after 45 minutes or 60 minutes, really. And even at half-time, we were 2-1 down. Yes, it was a poorish performance, but Mendy had brought us back, and we were in a better position. You could shake it down to one bad half, regroup second half, and go again. And even the first few minutes of that second half, it looked like Wrexham could be starting to get something, but we just couldn't really seem to cope with their attack. I mean, they're just really clinical. They didn't seem that many chances, but every time they had a chance, it looked they were hitting bang and hit the target. And Foster wasn't really making the saves. He made like one save in the first half, and aside from that, he didn't look great. I think there's also talk about how our pre-season didn't go very well, flying back and two from around America. Questions to be asked about that. I mean, perhaps we should have had that a week earlier and back a week earlier so that we were refreshed. I know Parkinson has said afterwards that he's going to use the Wigan game for a bit of a refresh, get some players in, get some 90 minutes in them. So it looks like we didn't really do enough during pre-season. I mean, if you looked at some of the highlights of the goals, yeah, first few minutes, own goal from O'Connell, slip-up mistakes, these things can happen. But in the second goal, it just seems like he seemed to slip through about 5 or 6 Wrexham players and just keep at the ball, and somehow he's got the ball after all those players around him. How was he able to do that? Fair play to him. It was really dangerous throughout the game. But even then, even on those negatives, defensively, we still looked like we could create and score chances. I thought Barnett played well. I thought he was a decent outlet for the team. Mendy scored the goal, and I think he wasn't quite as good as Barnett, but I think he did reasonably well. And then when we had Jordan Davis, Palmer, and Young Bickerstaff, when he came on, I thought they all played pretty well. And also, I'm not mentioning even late too, Hosanna and Ford. I was a bit of a surprise that Hosanna was going at left wing back. To be fair, I think he did well, which maybe bodes well for him moving forward. I'd be quite nice to see how he could do. And of course, Jordan Davis getting a very well taken goal. Hoping to see him maybe make a start on Tuesday and see if he can push forward, because that was a quite well taken goal, and they had a couple more chances where he almost got another, and it was one of those games where if Wrexham had just taken one of those chances, I think it could have been another result. We could have got ourselves a very unlikely draw. Perhaps I wouldn't say an unfavoured draw, because we were getting chances. It's just defensively we were shocking throughout, really. I think on Tuesday he's got to start Hayden instead of O'Connell, and then maybe Cleworth, and then you put O'Connor in midfield. I don't know why he wasn't even on the bench. A bit of a surprise there. And then there were some obviously question marks in Grace of where was the likes of Luke Young. I don't know why he's not even making the bench, even with our extended bench now. It's a bit of an odd one, really. But yeah, bit of a reality check for Wrexham back in the Football League, and a check for myself as well. But I still think it will come good over the next few weeks. I know Parkinson is looking to get more players in. Rumours about a striker and a midfielder, playing names like likes of Armstrong and Virtue. If they were to be signed by Wrexham, I think there would be a couple of good signings for Wrexham. Certainly strengthen us up. But even then, I did think when Palmer and Bickerstaff came on, they did well. But the first two were Derby and Water, which again I thought would be a good starting lineup to go with, did not work out at all. Poor Wars, he looked so small, looked like it was just easy pickings for all these massive MK Dons players just to mop them up nice and easy, nothing to worry about. I don't know how much more we'll see of Waters, really, especially if we get another signing. I think Derby is worth persevering with, because he did show last season he made some important goals and interventions in the team. Maybe we're waiting a little bit for when Mullen returns and seeing how things work out. I do think we will. I think we can beat Wigan on Tuesday with like some McLean coming in, as well as the previous players I've mentioned. Hopefully things will change. Just looking forward to. I still think Wrexham will be in the playoff picture. Just got to work on that defensive element, see what Parkinson could do, because I still think he's the right man. I mean, I don't think I've seen anybody calling for his head, which would be quite a shocking statement, really. But I guess we'll wait and see what happens. That something could happen, but I doubt that, really. I mean, also another thing as well, basically, with all the stuff with the game yesterday, no one's mentioned the fact that Hugh Jackman was out the game, which, on a normal day, that would be one of the bigger stories going on. But literally barely anyone has talked about it, which shows that hopefully at Wrexham, still the football is the main topic and not the celebrity news. Anyway, but thanks. If you've made it this far, thanks for listening. Please subscribe. Chat to you soon. Thanks. Bye.